Greetings, kings and queens of the world. This is Dr. Robert Moultrie. Greetings, greetings, greetings. COVID-19, wow, wow, quite something. It was two sides to that, something very ugly and something very beautiful. It was a gift to humanity. And I'm going to tell you why it's a gift to humanity. Because many diseases inspire people to make changes in their life. Unfortunately, many people approach diseases wrong. They approach it just out of fear, just out of distress, just out of I don't want this, but not approach it to learn the many lessons that a disease tries to teach us. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I think that COVID-19 has been trying to teach you and I all over the world. One of those is to change our doggone approach, our stubborn approach to health. I'm going to talk to you in a manner that's very stern, because that's what COVID-19 is doing. It's not playing, it's very stern. So it's trying to teach us in terms of personal health and what we do to it to stop making our norm, abusing our health, and even abusing ourselves during celebration and calling that a celebration, and instead make good, vibrant health habits our daily normal habits. That's one thing it's really trying to inspire us to do. Two, by having a lockdown and having us minimize meeting people, going out, and staying home, being in the home environment, it is requiring that we redefine our relationships, our friendships at home, our friendships with a spouse, our friendships with mother to son, mother to daughter, father to daughter, friendships with mother and father, friendships with siblings, some friendships with aunts and uncles, with visitors, with roommates. And all of those family relationships are transferred to outside relationships, workplace environment and community, business, etc. So this virus is trying to get us to rethink what is a friend during this existence of our life. Two. Number three, that this magnificent gift virus is doing for us, it is causing us to reevaluate our relationship with Mother Earth and her living beings. For example, during lockdown in many parts of the world, animals got a chance to breathe, to sigh, a sigh of relief, no human beings. And they've come into the cities. They felt comfortable. They felt like they were part of the land, part of the environment. They felt that they weren't being chased out. So during this time frame, it also was a time for us to reevaluate our relationship to Mother Earth and her living beings. Number four, it is trying to get us to reevaluate what is prosperity. Let's just set it down the bottom line. When human beings first came into this world, we were all prosperous. We all had homes. We all had food. We all had friendships. We all had relationships. No, that's bizarre thinking, to think that we were animalistic to each other and beat each other over the head. People of a culture think that the rest of the world were like the culture. No, that's not the way it was. We were friendly. We were warm. That's the way it was. We all had home. We all fed each other. As a result, we prospered. That's the natural way of things. So it's causing us in many different ways to think of prosperity. Instead of me have everything, you have very little bit, that we all prosper. I am happy to announce that I have a health package that's designed to address these things and more. It's called A Wealth of Health. A Wealth of Health. It's entitled that for a good reason. And hopefully, by listening to this sharing of what it's about, that you will agree with me that it is about a wealth of health. The Wealth of Health series is made up of 4 audios a book and a booklet. And the audios are entitled A Wealth of Health, Shades of Anger, Self Esteem and Its Influence on Oneself, Others, Mother Earth, and the Cosmos, and Fatherhood, Its Impact on Anger, Sexual Life, Health, Relations, and Future Generations.
Yes.
Do you think that at the girl's home that it would have been beneficial to have programs that improve the relationship between the parents and child before leaving?
Yes, of course. It would have made a lot of sense. Because normally, well, from my point of view, it seems like when a parent put a child into them home, them girls industry, or whatever, St. Michael, boys and girls, it come like you're putting more pressure on your own child because it has other individuals who there with their own pressure and their own mind thinking. It has some of them might think suicidal thoughts, some of them will think to run away, some of them might think to touch up one another for comfort now. I mean it in no bad way, but for comfort because when they was home, they wasn't getting that comfort from the parents. So I think it would have been well beneficial to have like a parent and a child counseling program going on because parents too need counseling because you don't know what that parents went through with their parents in the past. Sometimes it could be generation curse. And when you feel you're doing something good for your child or your son, your daughter or your son, it come like you're making things worse in their life because they're not putting that trust in you. They're putting trust in other people.
The book is entitled The Power and Influence of the Parent Child Relationship. And there's a booklet called Arrogance Disease, Not the Same as Confidence. I did some wonderful training at wonderful medical institutes in the United States of America, but I also am wise enough to realize that healing is the purview of everyone around the world. So I also listened to other cultures and what they had to say to add to my knowledge basis. And I had the fortune of living and working with the Native Americans in Oklahoma. Yay, Oklahoma. Yay. And I was gifted. I gave a lot, but I was gifted back. And one of the things I was gifted back was I was taught that for many Native American cultures, the concept of everything as medicine is the medical approach. Now, I didn't pretend to know what I knew, what that meant then and there. So I spent the next few years praying, pondering, and practicing to understand what that meant. And I realized what it means is everything is medicine. Everything is a tall order. And I put something together to try to discuss everything, quite a tall order. And it's called an audio series called A Wealth of Health. It's the same title as the whole package. And it takes into account everything. For example, the sun. This time that I'm doing this right now, I'm in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, but I know a little bit about the sun in different parts of the world. And right now in Alaska, there's some parts of Alaska where it's 22 hours of of darkness and 2 hours of sunlight. And there's other parts in Alaska where it's no sunlight all day and all night. Could you bear that? Well, a lot of people live with it and do just fine. There are many people who live with that, and it contributes to depression, and that contributes to a high rate of suicide in those locales. I have a friend in Washington State who says something very similar there, which is close to that area of Alaska, and same high rate of depression and suicide in that. Lots of people in Europe, UK, come down here to Trinidad and Tobago, And they say, wow, the people are so wonderful and friendly when they come to the Caribbean. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Some is uh, due to the people are warm and friendly, and another is that sunlight can affect the psyche, and lack of sunlight can affect the psyche. That's not a small factor in our mental health around the world and the way we treat people around the world. No small factor. So, for me, if I'm not in the sun for a couple of days, I may get some sniffles and runny nose. It's not that I have a cold, it's that the power of the sun is lacking in me. And so if I go out in sunlight over time, that may resolve. I don't need to, usually don't need to take herbs at that time. I don't take medicine, but I take herbs. So wouldn't need to take herbs at that time. The impact of the sun is incredible upon the psyche, upon the mind, upon the physical health, the sense of well being, the joy of life. Not a small factor. Another impact is the air around us, the air, every aspect of air. Right now on the East Coast, we have the Sahara dust that's coming from Africa that's traveling on the East Coast and to around the world, affecting the tree barks and on in the Caribbean and the East Coast of US. And not doing really, it's really doing quite a bit of damage. There's some good things in that Sahara dust, such as minerals, but there's some very bad things in that Sahara dust, such as fungus, and affecting our sinuses, affecting how we breathe, what goes on into our body, affecting sometimes the coatings of fruits and vegetables that are privy to it. But all kinds of aspects in the air. Right now, of course, the virus that's in the air, different viruses that are in the air, different bacteria, different things that are in the air in our homes and our communities can cause disease to various people. And not only that, but when we're in air conditioning environment, air conditioning, you can either filter air conditioning air if it's clean, or sometimes if the air is too cold for too long, you can have joint problems, arthritis problems. We can have sinus problems. You dry out your sinuses. Or if the air conditioning, in fact, is not clean, it can cause sinus congestion, and you think that you have a cold, but you don't have a cold. It's that the air is not clean. So air conditioning doesn't take you away from a lot of these issues and problems there. Another extremely important relationship with Mother Earth is the relationship of Mother Earth and what we put into our mouth, what we put in on our body and in our body. The question of whether we put fruits, vegetables, herbs, provision, whether we put those medicines, foods into our mouth and into our body and build ourselves with that, or whether we put man made processed foods that cause inflammation, which may be a sign of the body rejecting it and continuing to do it to get chronic diseases and then wanting to come to somebody like me to want to get fixed. Or do we bypass just pleasing the taste buds and think when I eat, what am I doing to my organs? What am I doing to my brain and my thinking capacity and my anger level and my depression level and my bones and my outlook and spirituality, because food can affect your spiritual mind as well. So am I eating for those purposes, or do I just want to get something quick and say that, I'm in a rush? I gotta go. I don't have time to eat well. I have time to put my value into what it is that I'm eating. You pay now or you pay later. Pay now or pay later. Take the time now or you have less time later. Yes? So, love you. So that's why I'm talking straight and strict to you. I talk about that as well in this A Wealth of Health audio series. There are many, many factors that influence our health. Believe it or not, time is a factor. Time, how we use our time. Yes, I talk about that. Genetics. Yes, our genes. It doesn't mean that because I have genes, I'm going to get the disease. If I have the genes and I do things that will bring out the disease, then I may get the disease. If I do things to stop the possibility of bringing out the disease and diminish some of the bad things that I might be doing, then I may be one to not get that disease. So we talk about genetics, and there are many other factors that influence our health that we talk about in the Wealth of Health series. One of the things I discuss in this is I teach you how to get sick. Think about that. I teach you how to get sick. Why would somebody teach you how to get sick? Is this doctor crazy? Take a second and ponder that. Well, most of you are right. Yes, it's correct. I teach you how to get sick because you could be doing a lot of good things. Or as I say, you do 99 things right, one thing wrong, and eventually the one thing wrong will catch up to you. So not only do you have to do what you need to do to get the desired results, but you also have to acknowledge what are the many different things, because it may not be one, likely it's not one, what are many different things that you might be doing to counter your results. So I teach you how to get sick and go very thorough through that. And I teach you what you need to do to be well, which is a long list. Lots of people think it's 95% of people think it's nutrition. That's very, 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 very important. And another 3%, 97%, 8% say that it's exercise in addition. That's very, 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 very important. It's true. Those things are important. But believe it or not, they're not the most important. There are other factors that are of greater importance than those things. And you have to do them all. You have to do all of them. A lot of people don't get the desired outcome, even in serious disease, that they want because they don't do it all. Okay, I'm going to discuss quickly some of those other things of the all.
Was maybe about 6 years ago, at least 6 years ago.
About that, yeah, it was a while back
Okay.
when I really needed the help because Lord knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while there, you said that something about a book that I wrote.
Yeah, it's about a book. The book is very interesting and it's helpful also. It is based upon personal issues, but it's more open. Sorry if I'm watching on the camera, I just do like camera.
No, don't look. That's
Right.
Okay.
And it has my life too. Even though I don't remember half the words in the book, but the topics were very helpful. Understand? And it's a very long time I didn't see you, but as I saw you, it made me click back on the book and you know that the stage I was going through and it gave me some knowledge and wisdom to help me out there because it is me and it's strength from something. The book was very helpful. And I would advise anybody else to use the book and, read the book and read it carefully because you need to read slow and understand everything that you're reading and just brush it out. And then they would understand what is the point in that is being put across to you. Right?
Okay.
All right.
And you said something about the book catching your attention?
Yes, it did. It is a book that it should be more out there than for people to acknowledge it or even have an opportunity to read the book and see that it's a book that's helpful. It is on today's issues, everything that's going on today with people, especially females, males too, but women that have more personal issues that they wouldn't express. But this book now, it's hitting every target, every nail on the head. It's plenty things. It's helping them more from on the inside also. Things that you might want to tell people, and you're reading the book now, and you might just pick on something, remember something from before, and it will help you work out your own problems without you even going to somebody. It's by reading through the book, you know?
Okay, okay. And just briefly, why were you there? Why were you at the home?
Okay, I had problems with staying home because I thought that something was missing. Home by my mom, so I used to run away plenty because I was looking come outside here and it's disgusting world to look for something that was already home. But I thought I would get on the outside, so I used to run away from home plenty.
A major, major part of our health and its outcome is our mind. Our mind. So I have a series on self-esteem. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is looked at in not your typical way of just about self. No, no, it's much more than that. It's about self and esteem. You cannot say, I love myself and abuse other people. That doesn't go together. It's not just simply about yourself. One of the things about self esteem is at the moment where your self esteem is at, and you get a traumatic event, whatever that may be, in your particular time, particular moment, many people may get a disease starting at that point, starting at that time, whether it be something mild as a cold or something major, relatively major, high blood pressure, or starting of a growth, cancer. Yes, many times cancer starts at this time, the traumatic event time. So self esteem is crucial to maintaining good health, such that when something comes to you, that you can deal with it in a manner where you can grow and progress from it and not be defeated, feel hopeless from it. Okay? So we have there's a series on self-esteem and its relationship to oneself, others, and the universe. I said cosmos before. I think it's the universe. Okay, that's the self-esteem. The other part on our mind is anger. Rawr. Mm, is that a good angry face? Yeah, boy, I'm gonna get you. Well, actually, that's a little exaggeration because I talk about the lifestyle of anger and not just the rage of anger. Okay, they both count, but lifestyle of anger. And I'll explain what that is. Anger, boy, this anger series, 4 hours, very thorough look at anger. More ways than I'm sure that you have ever dealt with. Okay, but talk about different types of anger, such as jealousy, arrogance, low self-esteem, holding grudges, hatred, lack of courage, lack of confidence, vengefulness, many different things. So anger, the angry person affects the mind of the angry person, affects the person's own mind, leads to many different types of mental illnesses. Many mental illnesses have their basis in anger, from depression, schizophrenia, many different. And it affects the physical body of the person. There's a whole host of diseases that may have their basis as anger, from high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, cancers. Cancers? Cancers. Many cancers have their basis of the mind of anger as that vibration, not a small factor. Anger also affects relationships. It takes a relationship from I love you to I hate you, I can't stand you, from two people that haven't dealt with the issues of anger. Anger, as a consequence, also one angry mind affects another mind. It can stimulate anger in another mind if that person is not strong enough, or after a certain while they may break down, or it may stimulate mental health issues in the another mind. And we have a lot of people in the environment of angry people that cause them to have mental health issues. And unfortunately, we're only focusing on the person who's come to the attention with the mental health issues, but we're not also focusing on the person who's stimulating this in that person. And sometimes that person's still in their environment, and sometimes it was a parent, a mother, a father, both very common, and stimulating anger in their sons and daughters. Okay, not a small factor. And one angry mind, as it influences another angry mind, also influences the physical health of that person, making them sick. Yes, it is very true, the statement that you make me sick. There are some people who make other people ill, sick, even causing their death through their negative, angry vibrations, anger and violence, etc. Yes, quite true. We discussed that in this series. Okay. We also discussed many other influencing aspects of anger, from car accidents, road accidents, to violence, to trauma, to abuse to our sons and daughters by mothers, abuse to our sons and daughters by fathers, and abuse in the home. Domestic violence is abuse in the home. Everybody abuses everybody in the home. It's not just given to any one gender. And we're never going to be effectively dealing with that unless we acknowledge that everyone has a contribution to and from in our minds as well, our body language, our eyesight, our thoughts, our actions. So we take a very firm look at negative, angry thinking among different ways. This audio series discusses also, if you have somebody in your life who's angry, how to help them. But the way I like to encourage people to look at this series is look at me first, so that I can work on me. And then by me working on me, I can have empathy and compassion for somebody else who needs this. Okay? A person who holds negative thoughts, feelings, and perceptions toward their mother or father is an angry person. That's how powerful that relationship with our parents are. A person who holds negative thoughts and feelings and perceptions toward their mother or father is an angry person. And we have an abundance of reasons why we do hold negative thoughts, and abundance of people in our society for generations and centuries that have been holding negative thoughts. I put together a series on fatherhood. It's entitled Fatherhood, Its Impact on Anger, Sexual Life, Health, Future Generations, and Relations. It is about the father-child relationship and its multitudes of impacts. When I say child, I mean before the womb to over 120. That means everybody. We're all children of our parents. Whether we live with them, we didn't live with them, we know them, we didn't know them, they're alive, they're deceased, we're all children of our parents. And I like to say that a lot of times we say fathers and sons, mothers and daughters. That's incorrect. It's fathers and sons and daughters, mothers and sons and daughters. Both affect both dramatically, and both need both as a result. If a woman holds negative thoughts and feelings toward her father, she will likely inadvertently push the father of her children out of her children's life. And if a man holds negative thoughts and feelings toward his father, he will likely push himself out of his children's life. And conversely is also very true, even more so these days. If a woman holds negative thoughts and feelings toward her mother, she may push herself out of the relationship with the father of her children. And if a man holds negative thoughts and feelings toward his mother, he may inadvertently push the mother of his children out of his life. Not a small factor, because those relationships also go down the generations. And negative anger is the major influence of pushing a partner away from our lives. The fatherhood audio deals with a multitude of factors, how it impacts upon the self-esteem, how it impacts upon the anger, how it impacts upon the third generation of the child, of the girl child, the boy child, how it affects the sexual life of a girl, how it affects the sexual life of a boy. In many different ways, from sexual orientation to multiple partners to not getting close when there's impairment relationship of that father-child relationship that we see over and over again in our communities and not discussed around the world. Impaired relationship with fathers and mothers has a very high influence upon communities, families, minds of crime minds and criminal activity, violence and anger. A boy who holds negative thoughts toward his father may transfer that to other boys. Likewise, men will transfer that to other men. Likewise, girls will transfer that to other boys, and women will transfer that to other men. Not a small factor if we want to try to heal relationships.
So to you, I would say thank you and keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you. Now people don't know what you read or how it impacted, or don't know how it affected your life. Can you just share a little bit about your life, if you didn't mind, and how you heard the audio series to affect what you went through?
Okay. My life, I actually grew up without a dad, as well as growing up without a dad wasn't an easy job. After I met you, we met at a martial arts seminar, where I actually purchased the Fatherhood series, and it had made a serious impact in my life. It actually fulfilled the part that I was longing for all these years.
Wow, that's intense.
A father.
Wow.
And as I said before, you're going to be missing out on a treat.
What do you mean it fulfilled, if you don't mind me?
The craving that you had for a dad, that I had for a dad. It's like having a father in your home. After all these years, it's like actually walking up to your father and putting your arms around him and saying, "Hey, Dad, I love you." That's something that we as men really crave for. Through that audio, I was able to feel that.
Wow. Well, thank you. Whoa. Oh.
This audio series on fatherhood will help you to take a look at what you need to take a look at about yourself. The whole entire package is heavily, heavily, heavily solution oriented. So it's about recognizing what the problems are, the cause and effect relationships of things, and okay, so what do I do about it? What can I do about it? It's heavily solution oriented.
How many years have you been married?
There's the book entitled The Power and Influence of the Parent-Child Relationship, which takes a look at both the mother and father relationship and its impact upon everything that influences a person, which is everything. That relation influences everything. Self-esteem, confidence, sense of self-worth. It influences health. Many different health problems can be brought back to an impaired relationship with mother and father.
The series is Fatherhood and Self-esteem. Can you tell me what your thoughts about those?
Well, it's very good to me. It's very elevating. It's showing you a way that you could get along with your family, your children, including boys and girls. It's able to how to manage them and how to bring that discipline to them. Right? And as a father, you have that discipline within you that you can put out. So what you have here in Father is very elevating and very good to really put truth to someone else that they can pick up and talk about themselves with them. You can make them a better person.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Very good, very good.
We discuss how it affects mental health, mind health, how it's so impactful upon different levels of anger, how it affects relationships in the various communities of the world, how it affects our perception of men, how it affects our perception of women, how it affects friendship development, just common friendship development, whether we bond with somebody else, how it affects when we feel lonely or whether we feel like we can connect to others. Discusses how it's highly related to development of criminal activity, from anger and violence to wanting to steal, theft, crime, many different things. We take a look at both anger and violence of men and women equally. That's very important to heal. One should not get precedence over the other. We have to take a look at what's contribution that each are making in order to heal and not hurt. There are many different family members who are going through something, not just the listener of this, but your brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, those who passed may have gone through something and not been able to have it resolved, worked out, thought through. But this is designed for family members. Sit down and listen to sections, talk about some things, talk it over. One family member may be going through something, and another family member going through something as well, but they both deal with it differently. One may seem to be doing quote unquote well in society, a nice job, nice home. The family seems to be going well. Another one may be on drugs, alcohol, seem to be have going well for one time and then into distressing behavior another time. Rather than judge them, maybe these issues are centered on the mind that they haven't figured out yet. And this series is designed to help us all. For all. I don't care if you're a prime minister, if you're president, you're top of an organization, top lawyer, whether you're male or you're female, and top in your field. These are issues, whether you're a doctor like myself, these are issues that all of us may have. And sometimes our arrogance and pride prevent us from facing them. But they come out, unfortunately, in various ways in our life. And I hope that now is the time that you deal with them before that other something comes out, loss of a relationship or loss of another relationship or a physical health problem of serious nature that is in a phase that we believe that may not resolve. But I believe that by facing these issues, that we can even turn around the most serious of issues, not superficially facing it, unfortunately, but deeply, deeply, sincerely facing it on a level that only you can decide. Finally, there is a booklet entitled Arrogance Disease, Not the Same as Confidence. Arrogance Disease, Not the Same as Confidence. I did that because a lot of people mix up arrogance and confidence. Lots of people. And they have two totally different outcomes in terms of how you make people feel, as well as the physical health aspect on your own self. Okay? So it's a very, very important to delineate the difference, and this booklet will help you. I hope that as you are listening, that you are thinking of two sets of people. One, definitely yourself, and two, also those you love in your family, your environment, your working environment, who you work for, etc. Not only the patients and clients or customers, etc., but also those who are in the leadership positions, primarily as well, who are suffering quietly, but not allowed to sometimes express what it is that they're going through. Okay, the package is 4 audios, a book, and a booklet. The 4 audios entitled again A Wealth of Health, which is 2 hours. Shades of Anger, which is 4 hours. Self-esteem, which is about an hour. Fatherhood, which is about an hour. The book, The Power and Influence of the Parent-Child Relationship, is about 195 pages. The booklet, Arrogance Disease, Not the Same as Confidence, somewhere between 20 and 30 pages. Now, to let you know, the audios are not just listening to me for an hour. They're purposely in short tracks, average of 3 to 5 minutes. Some way less, some a little more, but 3 to 5 minutes that they're average so that you can ponder. You could stop it, being in tracks. They're in MP3 format, very common file format. And the book is in PDF format, also very common file format. For any cell phone that takes that, any computer that takes that, okay? Very, very common, very easy access. I use modern format. I send it through your email or through another mechanism that I send it to you. And we upload it one time onto your cell phone. And while you're moving around, you can listen to it, or your computer, you can listen to it. Some people put it on the flash drive and put it in their car as they're driving. Some people who do taxi, the gentleman does taxi, and he mixes it up with music so that his customers, as he drives along, can also benefit from the knowledge and information. You know, appreciate that. You know, nice getting it out there. Hopefully, they'll get their own series for themselves to grow and to develop as well. Okay. So, as mentioned, it is 4 audios, which is a total of 8 hours in a 3 to 5, 7 minute tracks. The whole package is a very, very reasonable price, very underpriced for only 150 US or 890 TT. At this particular time, you have to contact me directly for us to make direct arrangements on getting both the payment to me and the tracks to you. I would send them, as I said, through social media. So we don't have to go through the mail. As soon as you make the payments, we immediately upload. If your empathy and vision is to see what I would love for you to see of how these can benefit the community of people that I'm involved with, definitely let me know. And even more so, if you have that, what I call a gregarious person, a person who's in a position of responsibility or influence that can carry this through their particular circle of influence. I'd be most grateful for that as well. Okay? There are a lot of people that can benefit from this. It is my thorough belief that what is on here will become the future normal approach to health. It will be common sense. It will be, duh, I do that. Tell me something else. And we will be living, not existing. We'll be living vibrantly, filled with friendships, filled with so much fun that we won't want to go. A lot of people right now don't like the conditions of friendships that we so call in our relationships of various kinds. And quite frankly, they want to leave early. Okay? So let's see if we can assist with this to help us enjoy our stay and to be here longer and enjoying, be a source of enjoyment and to cause enjoyment and be caused enjoyment. Thank you so much for listening to this. Please get back with Dr. Moultrie or follow the links below on how to communicate and get your series today. Don't stick. Don't delay. Thank you so very much. Have an awesome, awesome life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Very interesting.
And the one on self-esteem. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's very good too, right? It makes it build you, right? It gives you that sort of faith within yourself. Because when you really get with it, right? It brings you to that point that you can be able to stand firm. You have that discipline within you. You know how to approach people. You know how to respond to people. You know how to answer questions. You know how to ask questions and so on. It's very interesting. It's a very good skill. Very good.